All right, so we just dropped this tree. We girdled this spring here at Milford State Park. A smaller ash. It's right here next to a campground. Actually, it's kind of funny. We're peeling it right next to this fire pit. Often we have folks who will bring in their own firewood from other places, and that's one of the most effective ways if you'd like to spread around insects and diseases from place to place. So we always try and have people recommend that they burn local firewood. So the whole idea here was that we reached out to our friends at Wildlife and Parks, asked if there was some sites at high risk locations like Milford State Park that we would be able to put in some ash trees this spring. And so fortunately they were great partners, willing to let us sacrifice a tree here and there. So this spring came in, girdled this tree, which really means just we removed the bark around a section of the tree down to the xylem wood, or this inner wood here. The idea here is that we're not going to kill the tree this summer. We're just going to stress it enough that it's going to be more attractive to adults of emerald ash borer, should that actually be in the area. So now here it is, we're mid-October. We dropped the tree. We're going to go ahead and peel back all this bark and look to see if we find any larvae of emerald ash borer under there. They're fairly distinctive, so we can differentiate them from other borer larvae that we might find in there. One additional thing we did is you might notice there's sort of a sign on here that's wrapped around with some shrink wrap. Actually, on the back of this, we put a sticky material called tanglefoot, which actually is a natural resin, but any insects that land on that will be stuck on it. So throughout the season, we can stop in and take a look at this and see if we see any adults of emerald ash borer or anything else that we think might be of interest. So at this point, we're starting to peel.
Right, peel on.
Okay. We start. This one looks pretty good. So the idea here is emerald ash borer is a cambium feeder, which means it feeds just onto this layer, just onto the bark. So we're slowly peeling back the bark and the inner bark here until we can start to see this is that, from the emerald ash borer's perspective at least, that juicy, flavorful layer of the tree where it can get all its nutrients. And we're going to look for it right there. Not seeing anything so far. If we were going to see a borer, we might start to see some sort of shadow lines of wound response tissue from the tree, but we don't see anything here yet. I'm sure we'll find some borer tracks because there are some native borers, especially red-headed ash borer, that we will see show up in here. The difference between a native borer and emerald ash borer from a tree's perspective is that a native borer usually is just going to take down stressed trees. It's not going to kill the tree by itself. Emerald ash borer is perfectly happy to go on a really healthy ash tree, and over the course of a couple of years it'll kill it by itself in the absence of any other stressors, whereas we don't see that with our native borers.